Hi all, Demi here. Today we're going to be reviewing Pragmata, which only I know just came out 2 days ago, but I have already finished the game. It's actually kind of a short one, to be fair, but to be fair, it's a hidden gem, I think, in this space. So let's get into it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. I'm on Twitch regularly. Let's get into it. All right, so right off the rip, I want to get into what makes this game amazing. This is an amazing title. Brand new IP into the gaming space. This game honestly deserves a sequel, a trilogy, a quadrilogy. Capcom, hear me. Like, this game deserves to be... Make this another thing. Turn this into another Devil May Cry, please. This is one of those brand new IPs where it feels special. It feels right. It feels good to play this. It's a feel-good story with some sad elements to it, of course, but it's a feel-good story where you have, you know, and I don't want to get political or talk about AI and all that kind of stuff, but this is definitely a game where it's trying to make you feel good about the good parts of AI and potentially the bad parts of AI. It is one of those stories. And humanity stuck in the middle trying to decide. And that to me is probably one of the biggest aspects of this game, is the moral story of how do we feel about giving birth to AI and what it means as a society for our future. This story takes place in the near future, as you can clearly see by the footage, right? Space travel has become somewhat trivial. There's space bases on the moon. This is something that's going to be probably within the next 100 years, if not 200 years. We're going to have ships like this coming soon, probably. There's going to be technicians like Hugh, the main character, who's going to be basically an elaborate repairman. They're going to go up into space and fix things. But this is a story, I think, that's heavily morally driven, where it's, what is the price of this future? What is the price? But now I want to kind of change focus to the characters themselves, Diana and Hugh, their interactions. And I truly do love the story of how not only do they meet, but how they coalesce and become partners in this game where their combat is sort of intertwined, right? Hugh is, of course, the combat specialist. Diana is the hacking specialist. She is responsible for basically exposing the enemy's weak points, ultimately, is what her purpose is. And the hacking system that has been incorporated in this game is absolutely genius. Now, in terms of like when I first booted this game up and really started dialing in my controls and all that kind of stuff, I really didn't like it until I really started going over the control scheme again and realizing, like, oh, you can do it. You can actually have it set to auto, or you can make it a little bit easier on yourself to do the hacking. Because I play on mouse and keyboard, and so you have to, you know, do all the. I thought it's excellent the way they did it, the way they incorporated both the two systems together. I don't really see a way it could have been better. There really isn't, like, there's not a lot of things that I can say about this game that are negative, because the only things that happened that were bad to me was, of course, I crashed like 2 times, but that was mostly because I'm on an older PC and I know what my computer's limitations are, even though it looks absolutely gorgeous. This is footage from my gameplay, or my playthrough, actually, on Twitch. Go check me out on Twitch. This game is very, very well done. I didn't run into any issues at all. Typically nowadays, it kind of is more certain that a game is going to release with a lot of broken features, or at least we're expecting it to happen. This didn't have that. This actually released pretty clean. I want to say damn near 100%, but I kind of expect that. It's Capcom. They do a really good job of releasing titles pretty well finished, very polished, very well done. And oh man, the interactions between Diana and Hugh are actually very endearing. I think anyone who is a parent, anyone who is an adult who cares for children, anyone who just, and I'm not trying to be unsavory, but like there are those people, you know, the weird ones. But this is a story that you can really appreciate where she's a child. She's not human, of course, but she is a child. She has been grafted with the personality of a child. And so she really interacts with the world as such. And that adds a little bit of a more fanciful way of incorporating a story. Because you're playing as Hugh. He's this old, kind of tired old man, I want to say. But this child comes into his life and kind of reshapes that mentality. And she's just this darling child. Helps him through this situation of just like, we're stuck on the moon. How do we escape? It's one of those stories that's going to touch you in a way that just is going to maybe even bring you back to some of your own childhood, like how you were treated by some adults and maybe how you weren't treated by some adults and how they, you know, looked after you and watched after you and made you feel good about some of the decisions that you were making as a kid. And you know, she draws him pictures. She dances. She plays. He gets her toys. It's just such a good interaction, like a positive interaction between a child and an adult. And it's not like a creepy interaction. He's just like, I'm here. I'm trying to make the best of a situation, but he's like trying to survive, really. He's the one living organism in this place, and he's like, I gotta make it out of here. And I do not want to stress this enough. It's a very wholesome interaction. And I think it's probably the best part of the story. It's funny too. It's actually really, really funny. But I'm gonna, change gears because this isn't really a long video. This is actually going to be a relatively short video compared to probably some of my other content that you're going to see. But this is actually a very short video game, and that's actually one of the things that I'm upset about with this particular title. Pragmata only took me 27 hours to beat. That to me is way too short for the prospect of a $60 to $70 title, when this game is coming right off of the back of a game like Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert is well over a 200-hour game, well over. And now you're going to be competing with people's buying power, right? And what game do they want to actually play? And not to mention all the other games that exist in the space that are way cheaper than this, and they can get a lot more time out of than this title. So, do I think Capcom's decisions to make this game a $60, $70 plus title was good? No. Do I understand it? Yes, because it probably was a very expensive game to release. I haven't actually looked at the numbers, but I do know that it's very variable in terms of the budget for a lot of games, where you have games that release and the budget was only $250 million. Then you have games that have nearly $1 billion budget, and they have to make some of that money back. Totally understand this concept. It's not alien to me. But in retrospect, if you're going to spend that kind of money on the budget of your game, then you better give enough people a chunky title to play through. And this is not a chunky title to play through. If you're out here right now and you haven't purchased this game, my recommendation is that you wait on it. You wait on it until it's on sale. You wait on it until it's 20% off, 10% off even. 50% off if you can find it, 75% off if you can find it. If you can get it for free, which I doubt you will find it, the rare case that you might find it for free, get it then. I'm telling it to you now as a reviewer of this game. This is an amazing title. Absolutely amazing. I'm giving it a 9 because this game actually came out and it had no flaws. I want to make that very clear. This game has no flaws whatsoever. Has absolutely nothing wrong with it. My only problem is that it sits in a space where you're going to be fighting over other titles and your time as a gamer of what you want to spend your time playing. Do you want to go get a Windrose? Do you want to go get Crimson Desert? Do you potentially want to go get Helldivers 2, which you probably have or maybe haven't played yet? Do you want to go play any other game that's potentially on the market at the time of this review and go play that? That is where I think this game failed. Despite the fact that it is an amazing game, an amazing title, I actually cannot wait for a number 2 or a number 3 if the IP sits well with the rest of the populace. I would not be surprised, and I would go out and get them because this is a really, really good one. But I have to say that, and I want to say that for everyone who's going to watch this video, that we are in that space now where people are just going to be, do I go out and get this, or do I go out and get that? I don't have the kind of money that I used to be able to do this and that with all my money. Or maybe you do, and you just can throw money at whatever the heck you want. Good on you. But this is a short game. It's not a long game. It's a very short title. This is a 24-hour maybe game. And I mean, I gave it 27 hours because I did all the extra stuff. I 100%ed this game for you, for the reviewers, and also for myself because I just enjoyed the hell out of it. And I want to be clear. It's a great game. Not trying to take anything away from it. It's a fantastic title. I loved this title. But it was short. Short and sweet and to the point. And compared to other titles within Capcom's catalog, like Devil May Cry or anything else that I can think of that's a $60 game, you can go play something else and wait for this to be cheaper because you're not going to get a lot of playtime out of it. And maybe they might do some DLCs, even a New Game Plus. The New Game Plus, by the way, is available, but I saw no reason to play it because I already got the perfect ending. So yeah, it didn't make sense for me to go through it. And I got other games to review. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say on this game. This one is most certainly a 9 out of 10. I don't want to take anything away from it as it stands in terms of story, in terms of gameplay, and the graphics. Absolutely a beautiful game. You know, we're in this era right now where we're always talking about diminishing returns in terms of graphics, but this is one that definitely, I want to say the decisions, the creative direction of this game was definitely spot on in terms of the choices that they made. It has all the narrativistic elements of just a really, really good story. The gameplay is solid, even though maybe a little bit clunky in the beginning because you might need to dial it in when you do get the game, and you just need to dial it in. Once you dial it in, you're good. But it's a good game. It's a feel good game, but it's got some story elements that it's gonna maybe make some people cry for sure. So just be aware of that. Wanted to let y'all know before you get it. Or maybe you're playing it already and you just want a little bit of a different take on it. But yeah, this is a special title. The last thing I want to touch on is the puzzles, as well as the cosmetic area, because the puzzles and the cosmetics, as well as the level design, are kind of all coalesced into one kind of big area. And I think they did it very, very well, but it's definitely something that is reminiscent of previous Capcom titles. Like, Capcom is known for their puzzle games, or puzzles in terms of like the way they do Devil May Cry, and incorporate the level design into those puzzles. You're going to see similarities with Monster Hunter World. You're going to see similarities with Devil May Cry. The crafting of the world, it's just going to feel similar but yet different. That's all I got for you guys. All right, guys, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I am on Twitch relatively daily. I'll see you there. Say hi in chat. See you in the next one. Peace.